Hello, welcome. My name is Rory. This is my buddy Bird. Welcome to Curbside Sports, where we're just two guys talking like we're neighbors in the neighborhood out on the corner, just like how you do in your neighborhood. You know, you're just hanging with the guys, having a beer, eating a hot dog, whatever the case may be. You got the game on, or there's no game on. You just having a good conversation with your neighbor or your best friend out on the street. This is Curbside Sports. Bird, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Exactly what Rory said, because we are not experts. So during this podcast, we're going to get a lot of stuff wrong, okay? So just want to get that out of the way. We're like you everyday Joes, man. We go to work, we got things to do, but we love sports. And the one thing we love to do is talk about sports and act like we know what is going on with sports. So I think this is going to be a great adventure. This is a great time that we're gonna knock out some great subjects, talk about some fun things, and then wherever we're at in sports for each podcast each day, we'll try to cover whatever those highlights and what's going on in the world of sports. But this is really just a format for us to get on here and just say what we want about whatever sports is going on, and even more than that, because a lot of times when you get into sports, it goes into things further than that, right, Rory?
I call it rabbit holing.
Nah, that's it,
Yeah, I
man.
call it rabbit holing. And just to kind of piggyback off of what you just said about, we work and we got families. My son just came up the stairs. So if you saw me flailing, acting like a fool, it was me directing him to go back to his room. So I apologize already. Man. Looking like a mime out here doing some stupid
Nah,
stuff.
that's okay. I'm sure that's probably gonna happen a lot of times.
It's
So
gonna happen.
here too. So
We will
well,
also, real quick, Bert, I just want to say we
mhm.
will do our best to have the premiere content as well too. That way, when we are talking about stuff, and like Bird said, we are going to get some stuff wrong, and you will have an
Oh yeah.
opportunity to go ahead and let us know, and we will fix it. If not that episode, the following episode. So we are going to check ourselves. We are not just going to say some stuff willy nilly, but when we do say it, we think that's what we know.
That's it. That's
if I
it.
can put
That's it.
if I can put
That's
it the
it.
best way possible. So, all
That's
right, my
it.
man. All right, my man. So what
Well,
you got?
first thing, if people want to know a little background on this, what we're starting. So Rory and I became friends. I don't know, was that 2008, something like that. We
Joey and
both.
Aaron lived across the street.
That's right.
You guys lived across the street. I want to say this was oh 05, 06.
Yeah, that was so. Yeah, we met through a mutual friend, and then so we met up, and then that's really literally stood in your driveway talking about sports, and
Yes, we did. Yes, we
that's
did.
really where the idea of this podcast came from, was just two guys that really didn't know anything about each other, but quickly found common ground because of sports. Rory being a big Notre Dame fan, and I being a big Michigan fan, so it was a real good common ground to start. And that's what I love about sports, is that I don't have to know you, but if you root for an NFL team, I can talk to you. We
Yes.
can I can talk to you for the next hour, and I may hate your team, but I'll still talk to you. That's what I love about sports, man. So that's just a little background on why we started this. And over the years, I've moved and stuff like this, but we are like, man, we really miss talking. And it's like, well, why don't we just put it in a podcast and talk about it there? So that's a little.
Bird gave me a phone call and said, "Hey man, I can't think of anybody. I take this as a huge compliment. I really really do. You literally told me, you're like, I can't think of anybody else I'd rather talk sports with, on a microphone or in a video with than you." And I really took that to heart, man. So I must have texted you. Oh my God. I was like, I'm in it to win it. Let's
Yeah.
freaking go.
Yeah.
I want to go hard to the paint, some stupid crap, just using sports hyperbole. But
Yeah.
I'm glad you reached out, and I'm glad we finally do. We've been trying to do this for a good hot minute. At
It's
least a
been a
month
minute.
now. We've been
It's
trying to
been a
get this up
minute.
and running. So,
Yeah.
but it's been years in the making.
Yeah.
It's been
That's
years in the
right. That's
making.
right.
So I'm ready to go.
So let's jump into it. The
Okay.
first material we had ready. So let's talk about the NCAA tournament. No, I'm just kidding.
We really wanted to do
That's
it
where-
then.
that's where we're gonna start off.
He's being a jerk right now because I told him, I said we'd probably have this up and running for the NCAA tournament, and I just dropped the freaking ball, man.
Yeah.
I did. I flopped like LeBron. I did.
Well, anyway, I mean, the tournament wasn't that great anyhow.
No,
so,
it wasn't. I mean, we didn't miss
so we'll
anything.
move on. What is going on right now, though, is NBA, and we are into playoffs. So right now, we have the Miami Heat leading the Milwaukee Bucks 3-1. I don't know if anybody saw Jimmy Butler. Dude is going off, man.
He's going off. He's going off.
Like,
I loved it when he was in a Bulls jersey, and I'm missing him that he's not now. I can tell you that.
Bro, they showed him last game. He just looked exhausted. Like he is carrying that team right now.
He is. You can see him when he's like running off of the court, well, hobbling off the court practically, but you can just tell like he's got the weight of the team on his shoulders. And to be honest with you, if you want a guy who's going to hold you and keep you up, I can't imagine anybody else better than Jimmy Butler. I mean, the guy is all heart, and he always has been since day one. He's been all heart.
56 points in Game 4. That's ridiculous, man. I mean, I tell you, that's some talent right there.
I'm jealous.
And then you got the Boston Celtics and Atlanta Hawks. Boston up 3-2, but the Hawks keep staying in there. I mean, I did not see that one coming.
Well, Trey had a huge three at the end of last game.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that coming. I mean, he pulls up and does a Steph Curry out of freaking nowhere, and the building just goes freaking nuts. And he's running off of the court like he's like, oh, I got ice in my veins. I got ice in my veins. I absolutely loved it because, to be honest with you, I did not even really see Atlanta winning two. I didn't. I saw them maybe winning one. I honestly thought Boston was going to sweep this.
Well, I mean, I guess Jimmy had some motivation because, I mean, Boston was they were giving it pretty hard to him. They were chanting overrated to him. So, I mean, you know.
Of course.
He had a chip on his shoulder, but I don't know. Maybe they do it, but I mean, if they do, shame on the Celtics, really. Honestly.
Well, I think, to be honest with you, man, I think that last win for Atlanta, I don't see them beating Boston in the next game. Especially listen, you want to talk about motivation when people make antics like that, like, ooh, I'm badass, or ooh, I'm so cold. Dude, that's motivation in the locker room. Yes, exactly. Yeah, whatever.
So,
shut up.
Yeah,
whatever.
Exactly.
Whatever. No. I give your boy Tom was the man. But my point is, but you understand my point though.
Yeah,
when people do stuff like that, that is motivation for the opponent's
Yeah.
locker room. Like, this dude just did what? He just shined us on. I can understand.
And maybe it's a wake-up call Boston needed, right? You know, because they were up 3-1. So, I mean, maybe it's what they need right here.
Yes, absolutely. And it did. I think it did take Boston by surprise. I would imagine that, the highest level of basketball I ever played was JV. I could only imagine what these guys are feeling like being 3 up. You feel like you're on top of the world, and then all of a sudden you see your dreams and hopes and nightmares and everything come crashing down on you, man, and you're just like, whoa, this ain't us. This ain't us.
I don't think it's probably that much different from JV, dude. I don't know, but
I would imagine so. I think there's millions of dollars involved. I think. I'm
not
sure.
Can you imagine JV?
I don't remember. I don't remember on the JV team me signing a contract and all this other crap and plausible causes.
I don't remember Jay-Z sitting courtside watching me.
You hit that three. He's like, ho.
That's right. Like, thank you for coming to Monroe County, Georgia.
Yeah, to an empty fucking court. Yeah, to an empty stadium for the most part. So you also have who else you got? Who else you talking about?
We got 76ers. They pretty much swept the Nets.
They did
4-0. So
they did.
Nothing,
so
nothing to really talk about there. Yep,
they're in
next round. Knicks so far are leading the Cavaliers 3-1. So,
Yes.
good. Well, you really should think New York's going to end up winning that, but Cleveland is the lower seed. But I mean, it's only 4 and 5, so I mean, they're really pretty evenly matched. So,
I think that.
uh,
Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland ends up squeaking out one more, just to push it to an extra game to make it interesting. But I mean, there's no way I see Cleveland coming out of this alive, regardless.
yeah,
I don't see it. I
yeah.
don't see it. All right, so
And then
move us on to the Western, man.
Nuggets defeated Timberwolves. They're 4-1, so that one's over with, right?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes,
and
sir.
then you got LA, your favorite, who's leading the Grizzlies 3-1, which is a huge shock. But I mean, not really, because let's face it, LA has the talent. They should be, up there with it. They haven't lived up to that. But it's playoff time, and LeBron's got to do his thing in playoff time.
You want to know what's irritating? All right.
What really grinds your gears?
Since you wanted to bring some caca up, you want to know what's irritating the snot out of me right now? Because every single time this dude does an interview or comes into the locker room, you got his freaking teammates going, "Meh, meh, meh," and I'm just like, dude, come on, guys, like, give me a break. Can you imagine dudes doing that back in the Jordan era, man? They'd have been kicked off the damn team, dude. Like, come on, man. Like, I'm not taking away from the dude's greatness, but at the same time, it's like I've seen. All right, this is for another time. Yeah, moving on. I do not like LeBron James. I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. I do not like him. I respect the game. Don't like him. Okay, moving on.
And then we got the Kings and the Warriors. They're tied 2-2. So
yes,
they play tonight.
Dude, how about Sacramento, man? How about Sacramento showing up, dude? I did not think that the whole Draymond Green getting kicked out for stomping on the dude's freaking stomach and everything like that. Like, what are you thinking, Draymond? What are you thinking? And then you want to look at the ref like, what did you want to understand?
that would probably be the problem, is he didn't think. So that would be the issue.
Now, I will say this. Homeboy on the ground was holding Draymond's leg. If you watch it, he was holding his leg, and Draymond's like, okay, F around, find out. And he found out, and then, but, Draymond's been a hothead since day one, dude. Those Michigan State ballers got hotheads, man. So,
you get curb stomped for that, touching people's Jordans like that.
If that would have happened in street ball, you would have got your butt kicked on the bench.
Yeah. But, I mean, when you look at the Warriors, I mean, you still got Steph Curry. I mean, anytime you got him,
you got Clay. You got Clay out on the corners. You got Clay out on the corners, and Steph Curry has not lost a step. Yeah. Steph Curry still has the handles, the passing, the vision. That teardrop shot he's got is insane.
Yeah.
I put that shot up. Nobody else has that teardrop shot like he does. I put that shot up with like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's hook shot, dude. I mean, it's just one of those amazing shots that I just don't see a lot of people will end up doing in the future. He's just that once in a lifetime freaking guy that comes up with an amazing shot, man.
Yep. And then you had the Suns, who defeated the Clippers 4-1. Booker ended up,
which I didn't think
points last game.
I really thought you know what? I really, really did think that the Clippers were going to push up a little bit more. I do feel that they do have the better coach, but it just looks to me that Phoenix is a team that's on a mission right now. They look strong. They looked really strong. The regular season was good, man, but I didn't think they were this good. I thought that this was going to go Game 7. I really did. So, what do I know? What do I know?
You always got to get through LA. So
got to get through LA.
The Lakers.
You know what? And I'm happy for Phoenix too, because it's been a long time coming for those guys.
Absolutely.
I've always I fell in love with Phoenix. When Charles was out there, even when they were playing the Bulls, I couldn't help but root for Phoenix. And I kind of got a little spot in my heart spot in my sport heart for Phoenix. I always want to see them do well. They're out there, way down on the left side of the states by themselves. So,
Yeah.
gotta pull for them out there. You got to pull for them out there in the desert, man.
Yeah. All right, so we'll hit NHL up in a bit. So let's jump into draft picks, right? Drafts tomorrow, right?
Drafts tomorrow.
So drafts tomorrow. A lot of focus. Got some good quarterbacks coming out this year. So take a moment to look at some of the quarterbacks coming out of the draft. First one, Bryce Young out of Alabama, right? 5'10". What is he like? 205?
205, 207. I think he's heavier than they put on paper, though.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. He looks. You want to know what's going to be interesting for him? My biggest fear is even if you said he weighed 220. As a QB, he just looks so tiny, and I'm afraid that he played at the highest level at for Alabama, winning the championship, Heisman Trophy winner, balled out without a doubt. Would you not agree?
Yeah, I mean, but similar to Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, not a very tall guy, a lot of doubts about him. Very athletic. We're not talking about his worth ethic here. We're just talking about talent alone.
Tracking.
He has set a bar now because, before, right, the shorter, 6 foot's about short as you're going to get as a starter, as a quarterback. Like Drew Brees, Russell Wilson. So then Kyler Murray comes in. I don't know how tall he is, like 4'8",
4'4".
Yeah,
Muggsy Bogues of fucking football.
Dude is so short.
Short.
The memes were so great when he got drafted. They had him on that stool. But anyway,
doing the interviews.
Yeah. He was getting the jersey from Goodell. Anyway, so.
I totally forgot about that. Holy cow.
So anyway, I don't, I'm not, I would say talent-wise, like Bryce Young, Kyler Murray, they're in the same category. You look at the body of work that Bryce Young did while he was at Alabama. To me, those weren't the most talented Alabama teams.
No.
I look at the teams like Mac Jones was on. Those are some talented teams.
That 2012 Alabama team was talented.
Yeah, they've had a lot of good teams. I would say during Bryce Young's years, maybe not as talented. Plus, some other teams really stepped their games up. Bama's always top tier. Everybody's always going to try. Bama. I'm not a Bama fan, but the one thing I'll say is like, when a team goes up to play Bama, it's like the national championship for them, and for Bama, it's another week. Right. So it's like when people beat Bama, they just go nuts.
They lose their minds, and they think they already won. They're hoisting the trophy in their mind for the most part.
And I'm like, oh, boo-hoo. Bama still got 10, 11 win season. It's
right.
Like, come on, man.
Right. Exactly.
So, but I think he had, not to say he didn't have talent to work with. Of course he did. There's, crap ton of talent that's coming out of Alabama.
Okay. So the big question thinking back to and I'm getting off topic here and you're reeling back in, Vince Young, I remember not being able to really get the ball thrown, not really able, the running backs weren't really he took the championship on his shoulder and beat USC with his legs. Is what he did.
Yeah.
And that's what I was expecting Bryce Young to end up doing.
Yeah.
And I didn't see that. Listen, he's got God-given talent. His look-offs, he has NFL look-offs already. He will fake cornerbacks out and free safeties his first 5 games. And then once the defensive coordinators start figuring out how he works, I will say this. Do you think he is the best quarterback out of the bunch that's coming out? Yes or no?
Yes. Why? Because he played under Bill O'Brien. and Bill
Okay.
O'Brien is now I mean, I know it's associated with Patriots, but he is the offensive coordinator of the Patriots, which he was a former head coach of the Houston Texans. The guy is pro pedigree. So
Yeah.
when you have a guy that is pro pedigree that is at the college level, like that's something to pay attention to, because these guys are getting coached on an NFL level.
Right.
So Bill O'Brien is this is why you're not seeing Bryce Young run a crap ton, because Bill O'Brien is like, you're not going to do that in the NFL. You're gonna throw the football. That's what you're gonna do. And if you want to make it in the NFL and have a career beyond 5 years, you better learn how to throw in the pocket. You know,
Absolutely.
You want to see all these young cats like Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson running around. No, go get some tape. Hell, I won't even say Brady. Go get some tape of Peyton Manning. Go watch his footwork. Peyton Manning is one of the slowest people on the face of this earth. Watch his footwork in the pocket. Watch how he manipulates a line, how he sees things before the defense does. Like, these are the things that make you a successful. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you can't mentally play chess, if you can't go from checkers, because let's face it, college football is checkers. All right.
Yes, it is.
You get to the NFL, you're playing
sometimes
chess.
Connect Four.
Depending on what school you go to, Ohio State, we're talking about you. But anyhow, if that's why I believe Bryce. This is why I see Tua having success at the NFL level too. It's just, I mean, the poor dude can't stay out of concussion protocol. I mean, but anyway, we're getting off on another subject. I do believe he is, in my opinion, the most ready, the best quarterback in this draft so far.
So to piggyback off of what you said, and I agree, and I wanted to get your take on that first, is the one thing that he showed me a lot of this past season was his decision making was off the chain. His release on a 3-step drop is, I mean, like you said, it's pedigree. It's pedigree. That's exactly what offensive coordinators are looking for, and quarterback coaches are looking for, is a quarterback that can read a defense within the 3-step drop and know exactly where to put the ball.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be able to do that. I really do.
Yeah. So looks like he's going to Carolina. Makes sense. Carolina needs a quarterback pretty badly. They need another career to ruin like Cam Newton. So I'm sure they will draft him and do what they got to do.
Carolina also gave up 4 draft picks and CJ Moore to the Bears in order to get this pick, dude. So
I just don't. I mean, to me, kudos for the Bears.
Kudos to the Bears.
To me, I'm like, yo, this dude better like win us a Super Bowl now. Like, I mean, you're giving up all these draft picks.
Imagine
you're giving up your best wide receiver. I mean,
a potential Hall of Fame wide receiver, dude. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you better get. I mean, this kid, when he comes in, I'm like, you better be Brady level. Like, I don't even care. No rookie year. Like, you better be on Brady's level.
Can you imagine Bryce Young sitting at his house right now and he's like looking at his mom in New York or at the house going like, the Bears did what? they did what? Oh my God. Dude, yeah. I would be on pins and freaking needles. Pins and needles, dude.
Yeah.
To know that. And what a compliment too. Kudos to Bryce. What a compliment. What a huge compliment. We're giving up 4 draft picks and our star receiver to bring you in, dude. That's how much we believe in you. That's is massive. And the contract's not even signed yet. Like, we haven't even talked about money, dude. You know what I'm saying? Pressure. So he's definitely going to the Panthers. I don't see him.
Yeah. But he's going. Let's face it, if he goes to Carolina, he's going to a pretty good division where you want to be a rookie quarterback in. I mean, you look at Atlanta with Riddle, you look at Tampa Bay with Mayfield, and then you look at
you leave Baker alone.
You look at the Saints, who went and got Derek Carr. I mean, I don't know whether the jury's still. I mean, I don't know what
the jury. That's the interesting one. That's the interesting.
They're not winning a Super Bowl, Derek.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah. Not by any stretch of the. All right. Let's bring it back.
So let's move forward. So next pick, the next QB in the draft would be C.J. Stroud, right? So, dude, tons of talent, can throw. I mean, you put him on a flag football team. I mean, you're probably winning the state championship game.
You're winning the World Cup. Flag football.
As far as NFL goes, you know,
he's gonna get eaten alive. He's gonna get eaten alive.
I've had conversations with you about Justin Fields. I still feel that if Justin Fields does not learn to throw the ball, even to check downs, his career will be very short in the NFL.
I agree.
You cannot take hits from guys that big and that fast. So CJ Stroud, I mean, watched a lot of him in college. Dude has a big arm. He is super talented, but the mentality, I just don't know if he is going to mentally be able to do that conversion to the NFL. You know,
I think also with the Big Ten, you know, don't get me wrong, the Big Ten has stepped up their game here the last, I'd say, 3 to 4 years. But at the same time, man, I really feel like CJ Stroud's kind of been coddled. I don't really think they opened up a lot of the playbook for him and really tried to expand his mind, so to speak, just to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying. I don't think at any point did the coaches look at him and go, all right, let's go deep into the playbook here. Let's go deep into the playbook here, because they were just so successful on, I want to say, like, they pretty much passed the same 5 ways every single game, but they just had studs on both sides of the ball. Or, you know, they had you know, the left side and the right side as far as receivers, and then plus you got a stable in the backfield as well too. So it really helped him out.
He also had Marvin Harrison Jr. this year, who just blew it up. Michigan beat the crap out of him, and he still had a great day. You know, I mean, that dude, I don't know if you saw, he went to the pro day workout. I mean, he outshined everybody. Like, the pros are licking their chops like, can we find a way to get this kid eligible this year? I mean, like, that's how good he's going to be.
I didn't see it, so it was pretty damn impressive. I didn't see it.
Dude is a future number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. I mean, he will probably,
because he's only going to stay. He's only going to stay 1 more year, right? And then
because he has to. And then after that, he's going to the draft, and whoever gets him, great pick. Anyway. I digress.
Real quick, I've heard some people say that he would have been NFL ready this year.
Yeah, he was from his pro day. I mean, he was absolute fire.
Well, I'm talking as far as durability, and I mean, like, what him and his father have done throughout his, you know, his Pee-wee and junior high school career. I mean, I would imagine is top notch, and especially having somebody like that to coach you up. You know?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Yeah,
the workouts, I'm sure, were
but you know, for CJ, I mean, they run that spread up at Ohio State. If I'm, you know, I speak from a fan. I'm not a damn, you know, NFL, you know, scout or anything. But to me, when a quarterback runs nothing but shotgun, I mean, you're not going to do that in the NFL. I mean,
it literally, if you watch their offense, it's 5 to 6 formations with maybe 3 passing plays within those formations. That's all it was. It wasn't anything spectacular.
I mean, sometimes you don't need to overcomplicate things either, you know.
But here's the thing, though. Like you said, when he gets into the NFL, these coaches aren't going to be like, let's dumb this down. They're going to be like, no, dude, you need to know this playbook. Like, you're going to need to know this.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big knock on Cam Newton. Look how long he played at Carolina, and then he goes to the Patriots and he couldn't grasp the playbook. You know, that was a big
shoelaces, man.
Well, I mean, it's evident he goes into the offseason and they draft Mac Jones, and there's an open competition, and he gets cut from the team before even preseason, or was it? Or no, he did play preseason, but then he got cut after that. But still, I mean, you didn't I mean, they could have kept you on as a backup. I mean, there was something there to where it's like, look, this dude can't even grasp the offense. We don't feel confident in him. Go ahead and cut the ties with him, And then he hasn't gotten another offer since then, other than Carolina. He signed with Carolina for that remainder of that last season.
Okay,
But
so bringing it back to CJ, what do you
yeah,
think now that we've kind of compared him with Cam?
yeah.
Do you think do you see him maintaining and lasting and being the face of whatever team he ends up being? Do you see him having a longevity of a career? Because me personally, I think he's 4, maybe 5 years, and then he's going to end up hopping around to maybe 3 or 4 teams, and then he'll be gone.
Maybe it depends on it depends on. He's not like a huge rusher. All right. So he's not, I don't think he's going to be like one of those guys that's going to be running around. Like, I don't think he's going to be doing what Fields is doing.
No,
But can he grasp the offense wherever he goes? Will he have talent around him? I mean, because you look, I think that's always a knock on Alabama quarterbacks is they have so much talent around them. When you put them in a situation where everybody's at the same talent level, it kind of shows like, oh, these guys aren't that great.
right.
So I don't know. I'm not here to say like, oh, he's going to be horrible because I don't think he's going to be horrible, but it's just a big difference between college and pro. So is he ready to make that step? Because he's only a junior, so he's
I
coming out of school early. So
right, right. Do you
but I
think
don't.
do you think it would have been better for him to stay 1 year or go ahead and take the money?
Nah, because he don't know what else has he got to prove at Ohio State. I mean,
That's true.
he's shown what he can do there. I mean, they made the playoffs this year, even though they shouldn't have. I mean, he's got nothing left to prove unless he wants to come back and try to win a national championship and embarrass himself his final senior year. I wouldn't do that. I'd just go to draft.
Yeah.
So, but
Buy
anyway,
mama house.
yeah. So the next one would be this one. To me, is the most interesting one, and I just I don't know why everybody's jumping on this bandwagon because I'm like, I don't see it. It's Anthony Richardson for Florida.
He had a good season.
He had a
good season. And I mean, the dude's got world class speed. When he does throw accurately, it's pretty freaking pretty. I'm not saying he's going to be the next Joe Montana. I'm not saying he's going to be the next Tom Brady. But I do think that this guy has an opportunity to be that like one quarterback that could be like the next electrifying quarterback. I'm not saying he's going to win a Super Bowl. That's not what I'm saying. But he was fun to watch. Just as a fan, on a fan's aspect, you're nodding your head like, oh, come on, man. He was fun to watch, man. He was a blast.
I mean, yeah, look, I'm not going to – I just don't think I don't think he's had enough experience.
No, neither do I.
I think it's I remember Mitch Trubisky. Like he only really had 1 year of playing, right? And I was always like, I don't know if there's enough out there on him, I don't know if there was enough out there on him to say, oh yeah, he should go ahead and be drafted like that high up. Like,
well, it surprised me when they went after him after 1 year in North Carolina. I mean, he broke those North Carolina records passing and touchdowns, and and I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, the ACC is like this big juggernaut of defense, but the body of work that Mitch did that season, it was so crisp and so clean. It did kind of look like it was going to translate, but like you said, there wasn't additional body of work on top of it. But the Bears, they wanted a quarterback. They thought that was a guy, and that's what they ended up doing, especially after that nightmare with Vanderbilt boy. So, I mean, I could see where you're coming from with the Richards thing, but I like having that quarterback that is just a wild card in the NFL. I do. It just makes it fun because you never know what to expect. I do think that when he decides to take off and run, you better have his head on the swivel because,
Yeah. I don't know. It's like he only played what 5 or 6 games this year,
he
or
did.
I don't know. And then I'm pretty sure they were under 500 the games he did play. You look at his stats, he was 17 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 2,500 yards. Not bad for that point in the season, but I don't
Now
know.
add that up. Add that up for an entire season. You see what I'm saying? I mean, that's solid. That's solid.
Not really. Not really. I mean, I think CJ only threw 6 interceptions for the whole year. Bryce, I
Well,
think, was less than that. I mean,
but keep in mind too, man, Florida didn't have a lot of help. You can't compare this cat to what CJ Stroud had around him or what Bryce Young had around. Well, Bryce didn't really have that much, but I don't know, man.
I mean, he did have talent. Look, I'm just saying. I think like as far as like the flash in the pan, this looks great, right?
Yeah,
And I
it
think
does.
what they got the Colts predicted to go get him.
Yeah, I think it'll be the Colts or the Texans, one of the two.
I think
it'll be the Colts or the Texans.
I think the Texans will go after CJ Stroud. I think that's who they're gonna go
See,
for.
I think CJ is going to end up going to Seattle, man. I think CJ is going to end up going. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe, there's a quarterback here that we haven't talked about. Actually, I retract my statement. It's what I had written down earlier, but then I revamped my stuff. The UK quarterback, which we're about to talk about here in a minute. He's the one I think will end up going to Seattle, and I think Hendon Hooker. Okay, since we're talking, Anthony Richards, Colts. Is that what you're feeling?
I think that's the general consensus is that he's probably going to go to the Colts because they need a quarterback. I mean, so they got the 4th pick in the draft. So
yeah,
you can't wait long on these quarterbacks. I think if they go, let's say if they go after if they go after Anthony Richardson, Seattle's 5th in the draft. So I don't know. I would see Seattle if Anthony Richardson's gone. I wouldn't think they would spend a pick on a quarterback. If CJ and Bryce is gone, I would say maybe like Jalen Carter, maybe out of Georgia. They could go after a defensive lineman, possibly. I mean, because he's not going to last long in the draft, and anyone who gets him is going to get a talent, So he's not one to stay long on the board. And I mean, they could use all the talent they got. I mean, they do have Geno Smith. So I mean,
yeah. Well, that's who I was kind of thinking about comparing, to Anthony Richards was Geno because remember he got pulled way too soon.
That's a great.
Virginia. So yeah, that's literally who I was thinking about to compare to Anthony Richards.
Yeah, that's a really good comparison, and that's probably about how Anthony Richardson's career is going to go.
Well, so. And Geno,
and I don't hope that for him, but
no,
I mean,
neither do I.
Not everybody is a success in the NFL, especially in these top 10 picks, right?
Well, you got to think only 1% of the American population ends up playing for the NFL. Well, at least making it to the NFL, and then you're talking like 0.20% of that 1% is actually playing. So it's a very, very small group of people that are, blessed to be able to play a sport, which we love talking about so much.
Now, you made a good point. Hendon Hooker, right?
Yes.
So to me, other than Bryce Young, I think he was had the best year. I mean, the dude was on fire. He was the Heisman candidate until he got injured. So he has a lot of years of experience. He's gone through a lot of trivial crap, right? At Tennessee. He's been through different coaches, offensive coordinators. And look, it was evident that Tennessee didn't have a problem getting talent. It looks like Tennessee was able to go get talent. They just had a problem coaching the talent,
Absolutely.
So
if you look at Tennessee's roster last year and the year before, you could hold those rosters up to practically
and
go.
Yeah,
this is a really, really good team.
I see maybe Tennessee trading up. They need a quarterback. I mean, they're done with what's it, Malik Willis.
Yeah, Malik
They're
Willis. Yes.
they're not sold on him, so they're looking for their next quarterback. And Tanner Hill. I mean, I don't know what's left in his tank. So
It'll be
um,
good. I will say this. I will say this. Hendon Hooker going and being aside Tannehill, I think Tan Man would definitely be able to, if he's willing to take him under his wing, can definitely put Hendon in a really really good position. If anybody on that quarterback roster can help out Hendon, it's definitely him.
yeah.
So
And then
without a
the and
doubt.
then and then the other one is the kid from Kentucky, Will.
Will
Um,
Levis, he's my favorite one on the
Will,
board,
yeah,
man. He's my
Will
favorite one on the
Levis.
board.
He's another one that's kind of like he's got all the physical talent there. He has the physical talents there, but he's not. Some teams are looking into him real deep, and some teams aren't. So I don't know what some teams are seeing, what some teams aren't seeing. Um, that's another one too. Is like coming from Kentucky, that adjustment to the NFL, and also I think for
It
a
can't
guy
be
like
bad though. It's under a stoop sled offense, man. I
no,
mean, it
no, I'm
can't be
not. I'm
bad.
not.
It
I'm
can't
not
be
saying
bad.
that's. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I think he's the type of guy that needs to be put in the right situation. You
Oh,
know,
without a doubt,
I
without a
think.
doubt.
I think. I think what sucks is if you're a top 10 quarterback, the expectation is for you to come in and pretty much help a team rebuild. You know,
Yes.
it's not like people are drafting rookie quarterbacks with all this talent around them. They're trying to build around that rookie. So, if you're that second, third round guy, well, maybe you get on a team that's already got some talent on there, and you end up being that diamond in the rough. And maybe that's what Will ends up being. For one of these teams. I don't know unless like a team like Houston decides if they don't end up getting Stroud, they may go after him early. I could see that possibly happening,
The
but
only fit, the
but
the,
that's
the
not a
only
good fit.
well, the only fit that really makes sense to me, and you and I kind of touched on this before we started doing the show. He's a pocket passer without a doubt.
Oh yeah,
Great 3-step release. Holds the ball up high, close to his head, keeps it tight to his body. Has a great bring back and follow through release. Great eyes. Can see down the field. He can once he learned. The one thing that I saw with him, he had great chemistry with his receivers, and I think that will translate big time. But the one team that I think will work out for him the most, just because I feel like this coach, it fits just because of his time at USC and what he did with Russell Wilson, was Pete Carroll at Seattle. I think that that's just the best fit for him. I really, really do. What Pete Carroll has been able to do with Russell Wilson, and then plus with quarterbacks prior at USC to win championships, I think that translates well for Will Levis. What are your thoughts on that? Because that's what I see.
Pete needs another project.
This is a
he
perfect
needs
project. This is
he,
perfect.
he needs another project, and Geno Smith is not the project.
No,
He
no.
needs. I think Geno Smith is a good guy to transition from. So, the expectation is we go get this guy in the draft, and hopefully Geno gets us maybe another year or two, get this guy acclimated to the NFL. I really hate that they rush, some positions like you and I have talked about, you're NFL ready, right?
Right.
Sometimes you can come in as a defensive back or a cornerback, you adjust real well to the
You're
game.
a plug and play guy.
Right. Or you're a very good cover one guy. So you're playing primarily that position. But, you have offensive linemen, defensive linemen that can come in, kind of pick it up real quickly, especially depending on what type of system they ran in college. But the quarterback one, that one's the toughest one, because when you come in, that's just so much information. The game is so much faster. And I really like it when you have someone for the quarterback to sit behind. That's why I think New York going and getting Aaron Rodgers was actually a good idea, at least for Zach Wilson. I don't think New York is going to say, hey, Aaron, you need to mentor this kid, but they're going to be like, hey, let him follow you around and smell your farts every once in a while.
It's in his contract, I guarantee
yeah,
you. What I call it earlier, a babysitter clause. Yeah. That's what it is. That's what it is.
It's definitely in his contract. So but I think it's the right move. You saw how rattled this kid was last year. I mean, he
looked terrible. He looked terrible.
He just wasn't all there, so
he's messing up snap counts, he's messing up quiet counts, he's messing up reads, he's throwing balls where there aren't even people, he's throwing picks left and right. I mean, taking off and running when he shouldn't.
But Brett Favre benefited. I mean, Aaron Rodgers benefited from Brett Favre. I mean, it no matter what anyone
says. And Brett
says,
made it heir apparent he never really took Aaron under his wing.
No,
he made it heir apparent. I mean, it comes down to how well of a student you are. Is what I'm going to piggyback off of you on. Is it comes down to how well of a student you are. If you can see what the guy in front of you is doing, and you can somewhat mimic that, or at least memorize what it is that worked, and then try to implement that into your own game, hopefully it transitions by the time you're taking snaps when the lights are on.
Yeah, exactly. So, so I like the idea. I think Seattle is a good situation for a guy like Will to go to be able to develop, and then within his second year take over. I just hate when the Patriots drafted Mac Jones, it was like, this guy's not even going to have a chance. It's like all of a sudden here, you got to run the offense, and not only run the offense, you got to run Josh McDaniels' offenses, which is one of the more complex offenses in the NFL.
It's the origami of football, that's for damn sure.
So kudos for Mac being able to pick it up, but and then he leaves right after that. So, that's where it sucks, because Mac Jones doesn't have this like, oh well, I'm behind this guy, now it's my time. It's this, okay, your trial period is going to run up here real soon. And if you continue sucking, the next guy is going to come in and take your job. And it sucks because the expectation is from the get-go, you need to come in, play well, get us to the playoffs, and produce this every year. And there's no bridge there for him. So, that's why I like it when teams bring in a quarterback and still develop them. But nowadays, everybody wants it now, right? It's like, come in, we want you to start now.
It's a microwave world, man. It's a microwave world right now. It's like you said, you want these quarterbacks just to come on in and get it, and then all of a sudden take you to the promised land within 2 years. And name me a quarterback who's ever freaking done that. 2 years, 3 years in, winning a Super Bowl.
Roethlisberger.
Okay, that's good.
I think it was.
Was that his fourth year or fifth year?
No, it was early because he was one of the younger. Yeah.
All right.
I'm pretty sure I'm right on that.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're right.
It used to be Brady. And then Roethlisberger won as the youngest, and I think Mahomes maybe. I can't remember, but I know Roethlisberger was pretty young when he won his first one. So.
Okay, well, we're talking about NFL Hall of Famer, Super Bowl quarterback anomalies, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody expected Roethlisberger to do what he did out of Miami, Ohio.
Well, yeah, I mean.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody saw that shit. Nobody saw that shit. Come on. Sorry, we'll edit that out.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. But so we're getting toward the end here because we've done a great job talking today. So,
Yes, we have.
But I think what we probably need to focus on is NHL for the last portion. What do you say?
All right, let's go ahead and do it. Do it.
So the one that is just still, I can't believe the Panthers are fighting the way they are. Like,
so
the Bruins end the season with the most wins in a season, right? And listen, I'm not a big NHL expert, but
The Panthers got one game. They got one game. They're not
tied
winning
right.
this thing.
They're tied right now. They're tied 3-3 right now. So I'm talking about in the game. Yeah, you're right. It's 3-1, but Panthers win tonight. I mean, yeah, Boston probably still wins the series, but still, I honestly expected a sweep. You know, I didn't even expect.
Same here. I didn't even think that this was going to be this was even going to be a thing. To be honest with you,
but before we jump, the one game I want to talk about. Did you watch the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Toronto game?
Okay.
Where Tampa Bay was up 4-1, and then in a blink of an eye, Toronto ties it up. They go to overtime, and then boom, Toronto wins. I was like, what happened?
Well, what they ended up doing I believe one of those scores was one of them not a power play. I believe off
it was
check.
It was. Actually, I think maybe two of them.
I think you're right. I know of one. One. I caught bits and pieces of that game, so you know more about that game than I do. And that's the other thing I want to go ahead and put out there too. You know, when these playoff games are going on, it is so impossible to catch every single one of these games when NBA, NHL, and then also you got Major League Baseball going on at the same time. I mean, it is absolutely nerve-wracking to try and catch all these games. Going back to your question, what I did see is just the amount of pressure that they were able to put. I think how many are you able to pull up how many shots on goal? I mean, it was like an incredible amount of shots on goal in such a short amount of time, which is why they were able to. It was like damn near that portion of the game was played down in the Lightning's end of the ice, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, shots on goal for Toronto was 37, and for Tampa Bay was 31.
But I think a majority of those shots on goal came in like a massive grouping in the end of the third period.
Oh, I'm sure the third period is where they started.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Goals. That's what I'm saying. Like they just went into freaking offensive god mode, and it was just all you heard was ting 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 goal, ting ting glove, foot out.
Because it was 1-4 heading into the third period.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they ended up. That's crazy. That's great. I wonder how many shots on goal they had going in into the third. Apologize, I got a little scratch in my throat. I've been coughing.
But I tell you though, that what a great series though, right? So the Lightning comes out, punches them in the mouth, 7-3. Then the Maple Leafs come out, punch them in the mouth, 7-2. And then game 3, they go into overtime, and Toronto wins. And then game 4, they go into overtime. I mean, this is sometimes
it's a Rocky match. It's a Rocky match.
Sometimes you have playoff series that are better than the damn finals, and this is one of those instances right here, in my opinion. You know,
I agree. So. I agree. I'm definitely gonna have to. I'm definitely gonna catch some of the game coming up. Let's see.
Who do you think though? Who do you think finishes the series? You think it's Tampa Bay, or you think I think Toronto's got the momentum. I think they end up winning it. But
Lightning's got pedigree, man. They
do.
Lightning just got coaching pedigree, dude. I mean, they got one of the best coaches in the NHL. He knows how to motivate these guys. He's taken, he makes superstars. And trust me, there's going to be some unsung hero that nobody's going to be expecting from the Lightning that's just going to fucking, oh my God, I can't believe I just cussed. Sorry. I know. And
I'm the one. It should be me. And I haven't done it one time.
Hey, it's Curbside Sports.
That's right.
Two guys
there are no
talking.
rules.
I will not. I will make a vow right now. I will not cuss anymore throughout any of the rest of our shows. Why? I get very emotional about this stuff when I get talking. You see my eyes closed when I talk sometimes. I'm dreaming about the situation.
Listen, out of our 5 listeners that we will gain, I swear none of them will be under 18. So you're gonna be good, dude. They're all gonna be
I
in
can
their
already
40s.
see the streaming comments right now. Watch your mouth.
I think you're gonna be
How
okay.
dare you? How dare you? I think Tampa Bay.
All right, so
I think Tampa Bay. I'm going Tampa Bay. I think that they're gonna come back. I think Toronto kind of caught lightning in a bottle here. And this is the only series that I'm looking at that's lopsided, that I'm not saying that the team with the more wins is going to lose. I think Lightning will end up coming out of this one. I really, really do.
I got you.
So,
well, in my NHL expert opinion,
from all your stick slapping times,
and from my experiences on Xbox, Maple Leafs win. Momentum, baby. Woo! All right.
That's an easy pick. That's an easy pick. I'm going out on a limb here. I'm balancing on a wire, dog.
That's it.
I'm balancing on a wire, dog.
I don't bet on the spread, dog. I just bet on the winner. That's it.
All right, who are we talking about next?
All right, next you got Carolina, and you got the Hurricanes and the Islanders.
Okay, defending champs going up against the Kraken. Tight series.
They are at a tight series.
Yeah.
So, see, Carolina was the first game 2-1. Carolina second game 4-3. New York game 3 5-1. Then Hurricanes 5-2, game 4, and then game 5 Islanders Islanders won 3-2. So they play in 2 days. So and Carolina is ranked number 1 in that division, right? So
yes,
yeah. So
yes, they are.
Islanders are putting up a fight there.
Well, I think Just kind of brush through this real quick. So, me personally, I think the series that I want to see for the next round is I'd love to see LA and Las Vegas. I would love to see the Avalanche and the Stars. And then on the other side of that, I would love to see the Lightning and the Bruins. And then I think the Hurricanes and the Rangers. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. You got some old with some new, and you got some original 6 up in there, and you got some of these new cats, especially out of the West Coast, that just, what an amazing. I wanted to touch on this real quick too. You look at LA and what they've done in such a short amount of time since they've been in the NHL, and then you look at Las Vegas. They come out their first year and just mud.
I know.
Everybody.
I know.
It just goes to show that these West Coast organizations now have proven everybody else wrong, that hockey does belong out in the West, man. I'm a firm believer in that. And Tampa Bay putting a southern state on the map now, saying, hey, all you guys up in the Midwest, we know how to freaking throw some hockey pucks around here, man. Yeah. And I love how it's so mixed up now. It's not just your typical, yes, Boston's in it, but, it's you got these guys outside of the original 6 that are, I remember some of the coolest hockey watching when they first hit the scene was the Sharks, San Antonio. Just cool stuff like that. You just would have never thought, an area like that would have a hockey team. Anyway, all right, I'm off myself.
Make a correction. Colorado Avalanche won the Stanley Cup last year.
They did. They did, not the Hurricanes. It was the Avalanche. Yeah. I knew it was a natural disaster.
Yeah. Hurricanes was 06, so we threw it back.
Like I said, I knew it was a natural disaster.
Yeah. So, but anyway, before anybody try to call you out,
I already told you guys I was going to jack this up. I already told you guys.
Not going to let them crap on you, dude.
I already told you guys.
So
and I knew that. I just didn't say it.
So
it's
next
one of those things.
Go ahead.
Whatever. I got a complex now.
Next in the series, you got New Jersey Devils versus New York Rangers, right? So
yes.
Rangers won the first 2 games, Devils won the third and the fourth game. So that series is tied right now. So really good series. Seems like 2 pretty even teams from what I watched the other night. So, you know, I don't really have much to say about it other than that, though.
I caught some highlights of it. I mean, I don't really have anything to say on that, to be honest with you. I don't know who's going to win that. That's what I can tell you.
Yeah.
That is, like you said, it's so evenly matched. I don't even know who to pick for that one. I don't have any fandom stock in either one of those teams.
Right.
I think that I will say I will not be surprised either way on this one, but I don't think that they'll make it through the next round.
I got you. Now, I tell you a series that really, and I don't know why, I guess because Colorado was the defending champs and they're the number 1 seed. But I'm loving the Colorado and Seattle series right now. They're tied up. And I got to watch that, was that last night. And, or no, I'm not last night, the night before. And they went to overtime and Seattle ended up winning. And it was popping off. It was in Seattle. And I was like, man, that just felt like a good atmosphere.
Were the fans going were the fans going nuts?
Yeah. Kind of like Las Vegas their first year, how the fans were just, I mean, not saying they're not, they still are, but that first year, man, they was just popping off. That's how Seattle is. And I tell you what, I really like this series, and they're actually playing right now. I tell you, that's one to look forward to. I hope Seattle pulls the upset. I'm
actually pulling for the Kraken throughout this entire series. I would love to see these guys hoist the trophy.
Yeah, that would be cool. They've never won one, I don't think, right?
No. No.
So
I would love to see these guys hoist the trophy. Plus, it's been a while. I mean, the last title Seattle's had was, football title. So, they don't have a basketball team anymore. This would be good for the city. It really would. It would be huge for the city of Seattle to go ahead and get a team, even if they make it in deep into the second round and say they do get bounced out. That's a hell of a season for these guys to kind of come out of nowhere and do what they've done. I'm glad you got to watch that game last night. I wanted to. Unfortunately, I'm married with 4 children, and that gets in the way. When it comes to these hockey games, I am going to do my best to keep up with these. I'm going to leave the expertise of knowledge on these primarily up to you on those, just because these games run late, man. They do. They run late. So if you get to catch one, I'm going to try and catch some. Definitely going to watch the highlights. So what I got pulled up here is every single game, about maybe 5 minutes after the game's over, I got a recap I can read. There's a Game Center highlight, or you can literally rewatch the game. I wouldn't have time to do that, but I will make sure that I'm better up on my P's and Q's when it comes to these hockey games our next episode, because I know that's pretty important, especially if we want to get a solid fan base. I don't want to be over here just going, yeah, cool. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So you got Dallas Stars versus Minnesota Wild. This has been a really good series too. Real back and forth between the two. Stars are leading 3-2 in this series. I think the next game is Friday, right? So
time to be and they don't even know what time they're dropping the puck.
Yeah, they don't.
It's time to be determined. They don't even know what time they're dropping the puck.
So I did watch the last game, which was really dominant. The Stars just pretty much beat the crap out of the Wild. So it wasn't a great competitive game as some of the other ones I watched. But it seems like the series has gone back and forth. So I would expect that probably Minnesota will come out swinging in this game. And I think this one's at Minnesota this next game. So,
well, I hope they tie it up and bring it to a Game 7. I love first round Game 7s. I hate it when first rounder team is just swept. It drives me up the wall. It really, really does.
Well, and the team that does the sweeping gets a extended period of time off too. So which you had not really having that this year, which is really good too. So And then
Well, that's the
you got
incentive. That's the incentive though for these teams that
well,
can
yeah,
go ahead and
yeah,
sweep.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know,
I mean, if you're that good, I mean, you deservedly get a break, but
you would just expect that in a playoff series.
yeah,
When you got 7 games to play, you're hoping that it's not over in 4. You at
yeah,
least want. I at least want 6. Bring me to game 6, and I'm satisfied.
yeah.
You know.
So then you got the Knights versus the Jets. So you got Vegas versus Winnipeg. Pretty much Vegas has just won the last 3 in a row on that one, but they've been pretty close games, except for the first 2. The Jets won 5-1, and then the second one, Vegas won 5-2. But the last 2 have been close. So
It's been by like a score, right?
yeah, well, last game 4, Vegas won 4-2. But for game 5, that's a do or die situation for Winnipeg. So they got to win. Yep, or they're out. So, but much respect. I mean, Winnipeg's a 4 seed and Vegas is 1. So, I mean,
Well, that's a game I'm going to go ahead and I'm up because that's on tomorrow.
yeah.
Yeah, 10 o'clock Eastern time. So I'll definitely catch up on. I'm definitely going to watch that game because I want to see. The dude. I love the Knights, and I want to see them do well. I'm so excited for these teams that haven't been in long that have just been
I know.
that have been doing so well.
Then the next series you got the Oilers, which in the versus the Kings. Now
Kings.
I watched this last night, and I tell you, it was a pretty entertaining game at first because the Oilers pretty much came out swinging and scoring first, and then the Kings were trying to. The Kings were trying to catch back up, but it was a fast-paced game. But the Oilers ended up winning 6-3. So. Right now, they lead that series 3-1. So
game 6 this Saturday.
Yeah. So, but 2 and 3. I mean, this is what you come to expect with these 2 teams. But
off of what you saw, did you think the Oilers are going to end up out of the regular season? I just feel that the Oilers they just had a quicker offense on the
yeah.
the lines, man.
I mean, they it seems like they had the offensive talent to keep up in the score. So from what I saw, but like I said, that was really my first game watching that. As we get deeper into these podcasts, I'll start digging more into these games as well because. That's the thing is, you're talking about being a dad, you don't have time. I can catch highlights and stuff, but it's different watching the highlights and then actually getting into the game. And that's what I really enjoyed, like the last 2 nights, was really getting into the game. Like, I don't really know much about them, but I'm just like, okay, what seed are they? If they're 4, I'm automatically cheering for them.
Right, exactly.
I have no investment like in any of the NHL teams, so I'm always going to cheer for the underdog. But then like like that Tampa Bay that series with them, like I'm really invested in that now. Like the Seattle one, I'm invested in that one. Like those are the ones I want to watch. And then the Bruins one, Bruins just lost 4-1. 4-3 in overtime.
Ooh.
So now that's what 3-2, right? So
look out.
And yeah,
look out.
So
they're proving me wrong.
and that was in Boston. So
damn.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's why they play right there. That's why they play.
That's it. So that's great drama, ain't it?
It is.
So
it is. You know what? I'm gonna watch. Definitely gonna try and catch a game tomorrow. Definitely gonna watch a game on Saturday, and then hopefully catch a lot more insight highlights as well too. Via. I'm sure you're like me, man. I'm an ESPN junkie. I check ESPN probably 2 or 3 times a day as far as watching. I get a moment to go ahead and do that every now and then. But other than that, like you just said, being able to dive into these games, The only time I guarantee myself, because I make it happen, is during the NFL and college football season. I make it happen. And I'm just
Yeah.
one of those guys that I love sports all around, but my true passion, and I want everybody to know this, it's football, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I dig baseball.
Yeah.
I respect baseball. I respect hockey. I respect basketball, but my heart, man, my DNA is football through and through. Well, I tell you what, man, not bad for
Nope.
our first show.
Nope.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad.
I think we kind of got an idea of how this will go. We'll have a topic that we'll talk about each week, especially something passionate to us from sports, and then we'll focus on some of these current things, especially when it comes to the playoffs, because they only come around once a year, right? You only get NHL playoffs. Yeah, so you gotta definitely talk about them and get into them, and then. So maybe next time I think XFL will be starting their playoffs too. So that'll be
like I said, man. You just put up what we need to talk about, man, and I'll motor on. The other thing that I'll let our whoever ends up watching this, our -5 viewers, I will also let you know that Bird and I will talk before. We will definitely end up talking before and after every episode to make sure that the next episode is better than the one that we did before. I know he feels the same way. He wants to. I know he says, we're just two guys, but there is a perfection that we do want to kind of bring to this. Not saying that we're going to be, Marv Levy to any degree or anything like that, but we will definitely talk before and after every episode, and we will try and bring you the best that we can possibly bring.
Yep. So,
Curbside Sports, baby.
That's it, man. Peace out, everyone.